Welcome to In the Chute. He's Calen. I'm Brandon. I'm the one with all the knowledge. And he's going to try to stump me to see if I actually have any at all. Calen, what do you
and
got?
and I'm the one with all the looks. So here we are. A little bit of backstory. I am on TikTok if people don't know, and I have a lot of fun on TikTok. But the things that I found are Western life and the Western experiences and the Western lifestyle seems to, at least in my world, and it could be just algorithmic too. It could be just that, just pulling me into that sphere, and it's very possible. But it appears to me, and maybe this could also go back to conversations we've had in the past with the Yellowstone TV series and so on and so forth. But it just seems like the Western side of things, the ranching stuff, like that perspective has become more and more popular on social media. So I wanted to get dad's thoughts on maybe why it's becoming that way, what's pulling people in, what is the allure. I think we've had conversations similar to this before, like why do people want the cowboy lifestyle? But I guess mine specifically today would be, why do you think it's starting to overtake on social media as much as it is in the last couple of years?
That's a good question. I have seen this happen throughout my lifetime. Hell, when I was a little kid living on a place that does this, I had a romanticized idea of what it would be like, but it was for a different time period.
Mm,
I really wanted to live the lifestyle of, 100 years before I was born,
yeah.
or 125 years. I would have thought the 1830s, 40s, 50s, and even up into the 1880s would have been a fantastic time to live. And as a kid, I romanticized about that, living in this, this type of ag lifestyle. So I think it's a romanticism from a lot of television, and I think Yellowstone has done some of that. There's been back in the early '90s, late '80s, there was a mini series done that was on a book, Lonesome Dove,
Hmm.
and that really made a big resurgence of, oh my God, I really want to do. And everybody, people were naming their dogs, after Augustus T. McRae. I mean,
Yeah.
they were doing a lot of things like that to try to make that connection because they really enjoyed it so much, or I mean, it hit them emotionally at some level, right? So we now have just a different venue in order to look at
Mm.
or express those things. Zoom, to me, because computer stuff this is brand new to me. Being able to communicate like this, and I know it's been going on for a while, but I think that COVID-19 uh, debacle had really made a way for people to use this technology and express themselves more on it. And, frankly, there's a lot of people who are just locked down, and this was their only porthole
Mhm.
to be able to get out or in and some kind of human contact, even though it's ones and zeros that are doing it. Uh, so I think that that's just kind of been drug in that way. And then at the same time, they can search and look at, hey, I'm curious about this. I've always wondered about it, and now they had the time to do it. So this is all speculation on my part, right? But I think that may have something to do with it.
Well,
But
I
it's
think
always been there.
I threw some stuff out there before with like the TV and all that, but I was gonna say that as well. COVID to me, the the lockdowns, I think, got a lot of people to want to escape to other places, and look at what the conversations we've had in the past of how many people are leaving urban areas and going to the rural, and it's
Right,
kind of like that. Is like, I want a sense of freedom in my everyday
right,
life.
right,
It doesn't have to be necessarily a like I feel shackled or anything, but the fact that I can go outside, I don't have to look at buildings upon buildings. I can kind of enjoy Mother Nature for what it is, the way it
right.
is. I think that's something that's definitely pulled people in as well. But I didn't even think about your point of this has been going on before, because we've got 1950s and stuff of
Right,
Louis L'Amour,
right.
of books and all that, and then you get to the 60s and 70s of the 1 hour episodes,
Yep.
Bonanza,
Yep.
Gunsmoke, stuff like
Yep.
that. And then you're saying, a small miniseries, which was Lonesome Dove.
Right.
And then now we're looking at a seasonal thing, a
Right.
TV seasonal thing of Yellowstone, and now stuff like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter on the Western side. I didn't even think about that. It's just a different type of media.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things, you think of Bonanza and Gunsmoke as your big ones. And they really
Yeah.
are. They were colorized, but there were others like The Rifleman, Paladin, How Gun Will Travel. I mean, there's a lot of old westerns that were serials. The Lone Ranger in a strange
Right.
way is, that was a hero uh villain type of venue, but most of them were, right? By definition, there was that protagonist and antagonist, and that whole drama would go out in 1 hour or 30 minutes or whatever it was. And so that's nothing new. uh it's just a different way of presenting it, putting a little bit different sizzle on a steak. So it's, people want more, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it is. And it's not, and so it's unfortunate that there's still a lot of fantasy in that. And that
Yeah.
is what is maybe the issue that I have with it is, we've talked about Yellowstone. I mean, it's a good storyline. Um,
I'm
but
not gonna lie, I enjoy it. It's just
yeah,
there's a lot of things
no,
that I want to bang my head against the wall. I'm like, no, this
right.
is not what it is.
Right. But some of those things that it's not what it is makes it either nobody would notice
Right.
if they didn't know, but there's also some stuff that's in there that's, oh my God, that's fantastic. And
Hit it on
that
the
is
head.
like, no, that's the headbangers
Yeah.
portion of that. So it's not changed. There were some things in Lonesome Dove that were, yeah. The name of the horse was for Tommy Lee Jones' character was Hell Bitch. Well, if you look close, it was a gelding. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
you
Yeah.
know. Oh,
I
I mean,
noticed that. So I
yeah,
haven't seen the whole thing because I've got it on my Amazon.
yeah,
I watched like the first episode and I noticed that too. He called her hell bitch, and I was like, I see
yeah,
something down there that
yeah.
shouldn't be there.
Right, right. And if you look close, and there's one scene, I could see a power pole with uh, a transformer on it and some trees, and it's like
See, and that's hard to do though. Hard to
it is
get that out of the
very
picture.
difficult. Exactly. So you got to give them some leeway on that one, but
Yeah.
the hell bitch deal with the gelding, give me a break. And I mean, they clearly were saying it was a mare, and so those are things that most people wouldn't notice, right? But it still didn't change the story.
Yeah.
It still made that story as what they were after in that struggle between man and beast. I mean, it was just, a little bit of foreshadowing of the whole thing, the struggle, the whole thing. That's what I read into it in my limited literature type analogy and breaking it down. But those are all great stories. We're getting wilder and wilder with our what's acceptable. I mean, I wouldn't want a little kid watching Yellowstone.
No.
I'd be kind of okay with, largely Lonesome Dove. That was fairly innocuous,
Yeah,
you
a lot of the
know.
stuff. Well, and it's also because it's older graphics too.
Right.
I
Right.
wouldn't be too concerned either because it's like you
Yeah.
can watch a rated R movie from 1960 with John Wayne, and it's really
Right.
like a
It's
PG-13, like a very light PG-13 today.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Because he might have said, "Move them damn things over there." Whoa, whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa, there's an
or he
R
gets
rating.
shot and like there's a little burst of like a red spot. It's
Right.
like
Right.
okay.
Violence. Yeah. And
Yeah.
now it's like that's nothing. So those things have changed, and our tastes have changed, I guess. But yeah, the story overall of Yellowstone, yeah, I like it. I'm intrigued by it, but yeah, just kind of like fingernails on a chalkboard, which you younger people have no idea what that sound
I
is like.
listen. I hate that sound. I know exactly what you're talking
Well,
about.
that's because your mom is a school marm, and she had
Yeah.
some
Hey,
chalkboards.
listen. Fun story. She threw markers at me one time.
She kicked your brother out of class one time too.
Oh, I didn't know
Anyway,
that one.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I think he did it for effect. Anyhow, yeah, I do think that nothing has changed. It's just a different way to communicate it.
Yeah.
And people are more mobile now. They can act on it in a lot of ways, or
Hmm.
have some disposable income that they can come and find that experience. And we're all for that. We've talked about that before, some agritourism, but and sharing what we do here. That's the whole point of what we do, is to get a understanding of what we do, what our struggles are, what we like to see, and how we appreciate when people know what we do and really kind of appreciate us back.
And
And
that's the
so
other thing
that's
too,
why
is
we are.
it's the sound bits, and not even necessarily sound bit, but the small super consumable things. Because sociology class, like sociology 101 in college, they're like, it's the clicker effect. Every 30 seconds
Right.
somebody's clicking. I put that analogy out there to somebody recently. I was like, it's the swipe effect now.
Yeah.
People have dating apps so you can swipe left or right, and then now it's Facebook, you can scroll up, Instagram, and I told him, I was like, it used to be 30 seconds. Now it's anywhere between 5 and 15 seconds, because
Wow.
you're swiping so fast. Think about it though. Like, even on
Yeah.
Facebook, you're going through that so fast. And so I think TikTok has also created that too. And it's great. And my point to that is, it's great because TikTok, you can do anything from 15 seconds all the way up to 30 or 3 minutes, right? And
Wow. That's a lot.
3 minutes is long for a TikTok. And people are still making consumable things within those time frames. And it's about ranching, and it's about farming. And there is so much feedback from people going, wow, this is so cool. And that's
Right.
what I'm glad we're able to do on YouTube. And hopefully maybe one day I can do TikTok for the ranch too. We're doing shorts. We're starting to do shorts on YouTube, so we're good.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing, that the consumability, I love it, because now it's not just, oh, this Western lifestyle that's so neat, I wish I could experience it, but now it's also the education portion
Right.
that you're talking about as well.
Well, and my talk about, uh, when I was a kid and wanted to go back to the, 100 years before I was born, say the 1860s, 1870s, it wasn't possible.
Right.
You, you know, you had to know somebody who knew how to pack a horse or ride horses, or and you certainly weren't living in a maybe a cohabitative type environment with tribal Indians, which I was always intrigued with and thought, what a great lifestyle. The
Hmm.
best lifestyle would be a nomadic tribe. I mean, you just living off the land all the time. If if you were a male,
Right.
you get to hunt and fight. And if you're a female, that's a tough life. I mean, those women worked hard and nobody survived without them. But you can't go back to that. You can't travel to that. You can only learn about it and really try to understand what it was. And, we tend to whitewash the bad parts away and only highlight what's romanticized and what's good. And, we kind of do the same thing here, but we try to give some real reality. But I think that's really kind of the difference, is that people can choose, if they have the means, to be a part of that for just a little bit and touch that, where what I want to do is that was impossible.
Right. Well, with that, we will take our conversation about Western lifestyle throughout media throughout the years
Yeah.
and put it out to pasture.